Hi guys, welcome back to Doobrey's Day. Today on Doobrey's Day, you may be aware that I'm starting to get into my blacksmithing stuff, and I've bought an anvil off of Alex Steel. I've bought a forge burner off of Sam Fowler, and I'll give the links to their channels below. But I needed a MIG welder, or certainly a welding device, that we could use for welding up the various pieces of steel that we're going to be using. So Mrs. Doobs bought me the welder, which I'll go through in a moment. It'll be an unboxing video today, and hopefully some testing of the MIG welder. I've got some safety gear on the side here, which I'll go through those in a moment. But let's get cracking with opening up the MIG welder. So, the MIG welder. The welder I've done a little bit of research on. I've gone for a MIG rather than TIG or a stick welder, just because of the ease and convenience, and I'm not going to be doing anything major with this, just making some Damascus steel hopefully in the future, and a few smaller projects like that. One of the initial projects I'm going to carry out is to build the stand for my anvil. So I picked up an anvil on eBay. I've got the steel from a local steel manufacturer. I'm going to weld all of that together and mount the anvil ready for my anvil, ready so I can actually do some forging. I've gone for the Clarke MIG 151EN. As you can see, it's a no-gas dual-purpose MIG welding kit. I believe it's got some MIG wire in there already and some tips, but let's open it up and let's see what we've got. What have we got here? Oh, these got clips on here. That's an interesting way to use it. Let's go on the side so you can see. And it says, warning, loose accessories are packed inside a machine. Welding arc can seriously damage your eyes. Always protect them using a proper mask or goggles. Do not attempt to remove side panels of the machine unless the main plug is disconnected. Go down here. You get some instructions, a wheel, one wheel, second wheel's here, and that's it for inside the box. Let's give you a quick tour around the welder. Turbo welder, got space for, I guess that's the gases or something. A standard 3-pin plug socket here for the UK. So what I've just found is you can lift this up and it gives you access to the side of the welder, and there's loads of packaging inside. Plastic handles, more plastic, some welding tips, metal bar, plastic, an earthing lead, and finally this should be the wire that you get with the MIG welder. Yes, MIG wire. Okay guys, let's talk about MIG welding and safety. So you've seen we've got the MIG welder. I'm going to run the wire through and that sort of stuff in a moment. Let's talk safety. When Mrs. Doobs bought me this, she ensured that I took the correct safety precautions for MIG welding. The first thing, and perhaps one of the most important things, is a welding helmet. Now you can't wear glasses like these, you have to wear a proper helmet. So Mini Doobs bought me this. It's a particularly good helmet in that it's auto darkening. If I just show you this. Now these things are come in all shapes and sizes, all colours. Oops, excuse me on that. What it's got on the inside, as you can see that, it auto darkens as you're welding, and you have to have one of these to protect your eyes. Apparently you can get some burn into your eyes if you look directly at the weld, so really important we've got one of those. The next basic piece of safety equipment that we've got is gauntlets. Now as I understand it, the welding can splatter quite significantly, but we've got these really long gauntlets. We got all of this stuff off of Amazon, by the way, delivered the next day. really long gauntlets. Obviously I'm not going to do it in my t-shirt here, but really long gauntlets to protect your hands. These are leather gauntlets. These are about £20. You can spend a little or a lot on gauntlets, but we've got some basic gear just to get me going. The next piece of safety equipment I've got here is a welding jacket. Now this is again leather, it'll stop the splatters. It's quite a big jacket, as you can see. Really thick jacket, it will do up around the neck and it'll stop all the splatters that are coming along. So again, another really piece of important safety gear, a leather welding jacket. Whilst I was looking at it, I decided to get myself a nice brush. There's a brush here which you can use to scrape the welds once you've completed them. And a few extra bits and pieces I've got. It's a gasless MIG welder that I've got. So I've got some gasless flux wire, which means I hopefully won't need the gas to make the welding work. This is 0.8mm and you have to have the correct size tips, so I've got those in here as well. Correct size tips to go with the welding wire. And finally, what I've got lots of clamps. Now, with anything that you're welding, you need to make sure, as I understand it anyway, because I'm no expert here, that it has to be tight and static together. The other thing I want to get is actually some magnets. You can get some 90-degree magnets which allow you to hold two pieces of metal together at 90 degrees and you can weld along that seam. So, welding wire, mask, gauntlets, jacket, and some of these brackets, these clamps to hold everything together. So, one of the first things we're going to do is put the welding wire in. I'm just reading the instructions here as we go. I want to look at this new wire. This is 0.8 gasless flux cord MIG wire. As I understand it, this means you don't need the gas on it. I've looked on the internet already and I've seen how to do this in principle, but I still need to read it. Okay, revelation. This unit here has got two sides. You need to put it in that way. Then you can put the spring on. Next part is threading the welding wire. Okay, next part. Now we have to undo this and pull this down. This takes the tension off of this element here, and then we've got to feed the wire through here and then go through the cable to the gun on the end. So let's do that next. Okay, what I've done now, I've taken the spool wire, I've undone this pressure unit here, I've fed the wire through into this main tube, and I've repositioned this tensioner and tightened this knob up. Now what it suggests I do is turn the power on and pull the trigger to pull the wire through to the end of the gun. It goes on to say that I should remove this tip and this shroud and the tip, ready for the wire to come through, then replace the tip once the wire's through and replace the shroud. So I'll just do those. So as you can see, I've now got the wire to the end, I've put the tip on and the shroud on the end of the gun. That's now ready to go. I've now plugged this in to the negative, as I'm not using gas. If I was using gas, the negative and positive gets reversed. I just got to plug in the earth lead into there and onto my piece of metal I'm going to weld, and we're ready to weld. Let's have a go. So we've now got it all rigged up. I've placed the earth lead onto the device. I'm going to touch up this with a bit of weld if I can. First time I've ever had a go, so got to try somewhere. I've set all the controls. I'm wearing my jacket. I'm going to put my gauntlets on in a moment. I'm going to turn the machine on. I've checked all the settings. Wire speed 5 to 6, 1, 2 and min, which I've set for mild steel. Earth lead is on, gun is ready. I've got my helmet ready. Let's have a go and see what happens. So I've had a go. my first weld. I'm sure I'll get told off on the internet, but you got to start somewhere. I've never welded before in my life, and that's very clear, but at least I've welded something. So I want to show you something, a little bit of perseverance, and I've gone from this, which is very splatty and horrible and nasty, to this, which I'm really happy with. It's not perfect, but you know what? I did it myself, and that's rock solid. So guys, thank you ever so much for watching. That's the welder, and that's me welding. Hopefully I'll improve on that over time. I look forward to seeing you next week on Doobrey's Day. Thanks a lot. See ya. Bye.